Welcome to Healthcare Entrepreneur Academy, where we seek to educate, motivate, and inspire professionals into starting their own healthcare businesses. Learn from leading healthcare entrepreneurs and other business experts as they share their journey and provide a glimpse into their playbooks for success. Loaded with valuable insights and actionable strategies, this show will guide you on your path to freedom. Now, please welcome your host, entrepreneur, healthcare practitioner, and MBA, Jason Duprat.
This episode is sponsored by my free presentation for the Ketamine Academy. If you're tired of long hours, constantly being on call, or having to give up your nights, weekends, and holidays, all for an employer that only thinks of you as a productivity number that they're trying to maximize, then it's time to break free from the hospital grind, become your own boss, and finally take control of your professional trajectory. It's time you start your own practice. I know it sounds really scary, maybe even a little impossible. I get it. You got student loans, you're working tons of hours, and you may not even be a physician. Well, I am here to tell you that it's absolutely possible. Starting my own clinic was exactly how I started my healthcare entrepreneur career, and there's one specific type of clinic that almost anybody can open. Ketamine therapy is one of the most promising treatments in the fight against depression, PTSD, and chronic pain that we've ever seen. And thousands of patients across the country are looking for clinics in their area. The problem is that there aren't enough yet, and these patients need someone like you to open a ketamine practice in your hometown. Go to ketamineacademy.com/presentation for a no-cost 60-minute training on how to gain more freedom by opening up your own clinic. On the presentation, you'll discover why opening your own private clinic is a better decision than working more overtime or going back to school for another degree, why this one specific niche clinic is the easiest to open and doesn't require a bunch of cash to start, and how anyone can open this type of clinic, even if you're not a physician, by just following a few simple steps. So to register for this free training, just go to ketamineacademy.com/presentation. Hey, everybody, and welcome back to the Healthcare Entrepreneur Academy podcast. This is Jason Duprat. We are back here for another Tactical Tuesday, and I am actually going to turn the mic over for this episode to my good friend, Francis.
All right, let's get started today on another Tactical Tuesday for the Healthcare Entrepreneur Academy. This is Francis Waldecker. Again, I'm taking over for Jason for a little while. Don't know if you heard or saw his Facebook at all, but he did get deployed, help out with everything going on for the coronavirus. So he is, keep him in your thoughts. Hopefully he gets home safe, doesn't have to spend too much time away from his family. But in the meantime, you get to deal with me. So we'll probably get to keep these a little bit more marketing focused for the next few weeks until he gets back. Today, we're going to start off with talking about how to market during the coronavirus. And this will apply whether your clinic or business is open or if you've had to shut down. There are still things that you can do if you had to close your doors for a while. So definitely stay tuned. Really, we want to make sure that you can hit the ground running when things get back to normal. Before we get started today, though, I do want to talk about this idea that I kind of had that I've been playing around with. I think really applies to what's going on right now, as well as into the future, too. And I want to get into the new normal and stuff like that. Maybe we can talk about that another time. But I think this is a really good concept to keep in mind when you're doing your marketing and running your business. Because really, running your business and your marketing should be kind of intermingled. They should go together. The best thing that you can do on a marketing wise is have a really good offer, provide a really good service, really fulfill the needs of the people who are spending their money with you. So all kind of intertwines here. And with that, it's the idea of the cab driver versus the tour guide. If you're a cab driver, you show up, someone flags you down, you're kind of at their mercy. You take them where they tell you to go. They pay you, maybe you get a little tip because you got there a little bit faster, but that's really it. When, on the other hand, a tour guide, they are paid for the experience. They have people show up excited to be with them, excited to go on this journey with him, whether it's through an amusement park or a museum or around the city or whatever it might be. A tour guide is providing an experience for people, something that is going to be fun, it's going to be educational, they're going to learn something with it, they're going to walk away from it, and hopefully, if you did a good job, something that they talk about for years to come. I remember gosh, it's almost 15 years ago now. I went down to Fort Lauderdale, Florida for the first time. We did this tour around all the different channels and things that they have down there. Fort Lauderdale is kind of called the Venice of the U.S. They have a bunch of little waterways and things like that, and they have boat tours for that. And on this boat tour, the guy's talking about all these crazy stories about these multi-million-dollar homes that people have, and how this home over here belongs to the guy that invented the mall kiosks, those little kiosks inside the mall, like right in the walkways. Apparently that was such a big idea, you can buy a $10 million house on the water. Talking about other people who bought a property, found out it wasn't big enough for their boat, so they sold it, turned around, bought the one next door, basically. Other people who bought a $10 million house in the water simply for the land, tore it down, and built another $20 or $30 million house. Really crazy things, but it's something that I talked about for a long time. I mean, it made a big enough impact that I'm bringing up now today, 15 years later. So what does that have to do with you being a healthcare professional, having your own clinic, having your own business? Really, it's the same thing. If you're focusing on providing an experience for someone, whether you have an IV nutritional clinic, a ketamine clinic, those are the ones that we work with a lot. So I'm going to use those for an example here. If you focus on having that more spa-like experience where you really kind of take care of them, cater to them, maybe have snacks or beverages to drink or different little extra things that really make them feel like they're getting pampered a little bit. That's going to be an experience worth talking about. That's going to be going above and beyond what someone's used to seeing. It's like the shoe, not the shoe business, but the shoe shine business. You see the shoe shines in the airports and things like that. People don't really go there because they want their shoe shined. Yeah, it's nice, but what people really like is that for that 10, 15 minutes, they get pampered. They get to feel like a king or a queen sitting on that throne and having someone take care of them. And the really good ones, might give them a hot towel or have a massage chair or something like that to really make that experience better. So the first thing I can recommend that people do, if you're still open, is, how can you make that experience better for your clients, your patients right now? If you feel really lost right now, you can start ask the people that are still coming in right now what you could do to make the experience even better. What things you might be able to add, what suggestions they might have, and different things like that. If you're closed, if it's something where you can't be seeing patients or clients right now, can't have any customers, this would be a great time to spruce things up a little bit. If you don't have much cash, you can go to Home Depot, buy a bucket of paint, repaint the walls, something a little bit nicer like that. Maybe reorganize the furniture for a little bit better layout, get some like privacy screens or things like that to kind of wall things off and give people a little bit more of an exclusive experience. Tons of different stuff. If you do have some extra cash saved up, this would be a great time to do some remodeling within your building. You don't have to shut down and sacrifice seeing patients or clients. It's already closed, so it's a great time to do that. There's a really popular pool hall downtown in my city here. He really had needed some updates badly on this, but he'd been putting them off because he simply didn't want to shut down and lose that business, because these are some major renovations that are taking several weeks to happen, but now is the perfect time for it. So if you can't see clients, if you can't see patients, what can you do to take advantage of what's going on right now? That's a great mentality to have. There are no such things as problems, only situations that need to be addressed. And if you're always thinking of, what can I do? What can I do? What can I do? Then you're going to have a lot better mindset for all this. You're going to stop worrying so much about the loss of business or different things like that. And instead, it's going to put you in a frame of reference to keep thinking about what are some of the things you can be doing right now. So whether you are closed down or open, here is a great opportunity, a great time to focus on your social media presence and your online presence. With everybody staying at home right now, with everybody either out of work or working from home, which we all know isn't quite as productive as if you're in the office with your manager or boss looking over your shoulder. People are spending a lot more time on social media. They're on Facebook, they're on Instagram, they're looking for different blogs and things like that. So what you can do right now is start getting loud on social media. Talk about your business, what you're doing, especially if you're in the healthcare industry. Now is a fantastic time to really educate and build your office. Do a lot of research on what's going on with the coronavirus. If you have any contacts or friends or people that that are experts on pandemics, epidemiology, or anything like this, viruses, things like that, talk to them, get their opinion. Maybe you can do a Facebook Live or get them on your podcast. Otherwise, making posts, making videos yourself, talking about this information. And really, you don't need to have new thoughts on this. That's a big thing I see a lot with business owners and entrepreneurs. They feel like they have to have these brilliant ideas or these original ideas or these new ideas or things like that, when it's not the case at all. All you have to do is curate the content and distill it in such a way that your audience can understand. We're getting all sorts of facts thrown at us and different data, and there's still a lot of polarization in this country between people who are really worried about this and think it's not a big deal and all that craziness. And people need someone to take this information, take the data, take all the medical jargon, and strip it down into something that's easy for them to understand, something that they don't feel like they need a data science degree or medical degree to figure out. And if you can be that person, especially in your hometown, the area that you operate, or the little corner of the world that you serve, you can really make a difference. Not only can you do a lot to help people, do a lot to diminish their fears, make them feel more hopeful, but it also puts you as an expert, as an authority figure, so that when things start picking back up, when we start returning to this new normal, they're going to look to you. They're going to keep their eye on you. They're going to remember that you helped them in this time of need. The other thing that you can do is, if your healthcare practice, your clinic, whatever you have, is some way, shape related to mental health, whether you have a ketamine clinic, whether you're a therapist or anything like that, now is a great time to start talking about depression and anxiety and help people combat that, give them good tips for what they can do if they're getting into a bad headspace. Again, if you have any friends or colleagues who are experts in this field, that are either actual counselors, therapists, psychiatric nurses, things like that, now would be a great time to get their opinion, tap on them to do a video, to do a podcast, something like that, and really start to help people that way. Another aspect, again, is fitness. We're all stuck at home. People can't go to the gym now. You really can't do a lot of normal things. So what kind of either at-home workouts can people do? Is there stretching, yoga, remind them to go for walks, anything like that to get them out and get them moving? Doing things like this, helping reinforce that, is going to really help elevate your authority and elevate your expertise. It doesn't matter that everybody else is probably doing this too. Don't sit there and think, oh, other people are doing this. It's not my problem, not my responsibility, not something I need to do. I'm just part of the noise, whatever it might be. You do have a duty and a responsibility. You have a moral obligation to put yourself out there as well, to be that leader and really kind of help these people, because how you say things, what you focus on might resonate with them in a way that no one else does or someone else hasn't yet. And they might latch on to you then as the authority figure. They might be like, oh my God, this person gets me, this guy, this girl, they really understand what I'm going through. I'm going to follow and listen to them. All right. That's why it's important to have so many voices out there. The biggest thing is making sure that you're keeping the information positive, you're fact checking, you're looking for sources, you're looking for experts to collaborate or corroborate what you're talking about. The biggest thing is, don't be negative. Don't, what's the word I'm looking for? Don't trash the other side. Don't kind of play into any of that petty stuff where you're cutting people down for having this thought or that thought or this opinion or that opinion. Stay away from that. I know that's popping up here a lot. I'm sure if you spent any time on Facebook lately, you're hearing both sides going after the other, things like that. Keep that out. Keep it positive. Your aim is to help people. If you get any of those comments, things like that, don't engage with them. Delete them. Thank them for their opinion and leave it at that. That's really all you need to do. But there's still so much that you can do. If you want to take it to the next level, you can start a Facebook group that could be either kind of a local support group or something where, you guys get together for doing the morning workouts, a mental health talk or something that you give every day where you do a tip or things like that. But there's so much things you can do. You can do little free trainings for people on meditation or breathing exercise or anything like that. There's so many opportunities right now if you keep your focus on what can I do. All right. That's the biggest thing that we can advise for you right now is keep thinking, what can I do? Simply because your business can't run normally right now, that doesn't mean there's nothing that you can do. There are so many different things that you can keep doing so that when things turn around, you're going to be in a great place to hit the ground running and to take off. If you're not part of it already, I would highly recommend joining the Healthcare Entrepreneur Academy. We got a lot of great stuff in there. You can take myself, Francis Waldecker, you can take Jason in there. It might take him a little bit to get back to you. If you have any questions or if you have any ideas and you're wondering if this will work or if this will be a good idea or different things like that. So there's so many things to do. There's such a great community there that we can help you guys out, make sure that you are getting through this and thriving through this. It's going to be tough for some businesses. There are some businesses that are going to be affected greatly with this and really struggle when we come out of this, but you don't have to be one of them. There's always something you can do. So keep thinking, what can I do? What can I do? What can I do? And of course, shameless plug again, join the Healthcare Entrepreneur Academy Facebook group and let us know what you think you can do. We'd be happy to help. All right. If you guys got any questions, post them in there. Would love to hear your thoughts, and we'll talk to you next week.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Healthcare Entrepreneur Academy. Want to connect with more like-minded healthcare entrepreneurs and professionals? Just head over to jasonduprat.com/group to join our Facebook family for real-time interactions, insight, and resources to get you one step closer to realizing your goal. We look forward to interacting with you, but until then, we'll catch you on the next episode of the Healthcare Entrepreneur Academy.